This is the Green Side Show,
where we discuss everything about the environment.
with news, interviews, data, and opinions. Follow us live on Monday at 12 a.m.
On the Lookup Radio YouTube channel.
The green side for our future.
Hi everyone, we are here at the radio station with three amazing guests.
Can you introduce yourself?
Of course, I'm Martino and I'm fine.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Filippo and I am having a waterful day.
Hi, my name is Simone and I am alright.
Alright, today we are going to discuss a problem that's seriously affecting the planet Earth.
That's interesting, but what's the problem?
The problem is the absurd amount of garbage that you can with any fewer for the considered work of the bottom of the ocean.
That doesn't look like a joke. That's a serious problem.
You're absolutely right, Tashin. Nowadays you can find garbage absolutely everywhere. Take for example Bologna. Have you ever seen a clean street while walking?
No, I always find a lot of garbage on the ground.
The most present kinds of garbage are cigarettes butt, because people use to throw away their cigarettes when they finish smoking. Then there are lots of plastic bottles, and sometimes you can even find glass bottles of beer left by someone.
And how can we stop people from doing this?
Today, people are not sensibility about these kings, this kid of topics. We have to sensibility people because they can't imagine how bad this problem and how much garbage ends up there every month.
This mechanism has also a negative impact on the flora and the fauna. To stop this as soon as possible, we should educate people about the waste management and make them understand how important recycling is.
I agree with that. We must start working to stop this right now.
And what are some of the consequences of excessive waste generation?
There are many negative consequences, such as water and air contamination, destruction of animal habitats, and spread of disease and reduction in quality of life.
Yes, and waste not disposed properly can also cause health problems for people, such as air and water pollution, as well as nutrition problems due to food contamination.
What are some of the technologies or methods that can be used to manage waste?
There are a lot of technologies and methods available, like sorted waste, compost, and incineration. We must use these technologies in the most efficient and responsible way.
I think we sold also three tools most sustainability materials, and this to reduce the use of plastic and other environment warming materials.
We also need to try find ways to recover and recycle valuable material from waste, such as metal and plastic, rather than just throwing them away.
There is also the problem of rubbish being dumped out in the sea. What are the possible solutions to these problems?
There are many technologies available for cleaning water, such as the use of clean vessels and waste recovery. We also need to raise awareness of the problem of littering at the sea and the importance of disposing of waste account.
And companies that production single-use production should take more responsibility for ensuring the product don't end up in the sea.
There is also the problem of the greenhouse gas and the warming, the global warming. What can be the solution of those problems?
One solution could be to use renewable energy sources such as solar and wind. This would reduce the dependence of non-renewable energy sources that cause greenhouse gas emissions.
We should also try to reduce the environment impact of our transport, for example, by using public transport or bicycle instead of cars.
Okay, so far we talked about this problem and some solution on a small scale. What about on a worldwide scale? How many tons of junk are produced each year?
I read in Wikipedia that 2019 global waste production reached the figure of 1.1 billion tons.
And how much of this waste is recycled?
And unfortunately, on 19% of the production was they are recycled.
And where does the other waste end up?
Most waste is simply thrown into landfills, but there are also problems related to the abandonment of waste in public places and the pollution of watercourses and the sea.
Exactly. And all this has a negative impact on the environment and human health.
How can we reduce the amount of waste produced and increase recycling?
I think an important solution. We have already said, it's education people about the conquistor of waste generation and the need producing representing the recycle.
Perhaps the authorities should invest more in separate collection and the recycling of waste.
There are also technological solutions for waste management. For example, using waste incineration plants can convert waste into energy.
You are definitely right. However, we also need to look at consumer goods manufacturers and their business practices. Many companies produce disposable items which are used once and then throw away.
So, should we encourage this company to make more things like that?
Exactly. We must also treat the reduction overpacking of the production and promote more sustainability production and consuming practices.
Can I ask you something?
Sure, you can.
How much plastic is in the sea right now?
According to specialized websites such as Focus.it, there were around 250,000 of tons of plastic in the sea in 2021. More recent data are very hard to find, but I can tell you that there are more tons of plastic nowadays than 2 years ago.
How does this plastic mass look in the ocean?
Well, huge islands are formed. Honestly, I find this a little bit scary. I don't know why, but thinking about this island formed by plastic we produced, it just makes me restless.
I understand you. Sometimes I imagine that all this plastic in the sea will somehow come to life and rebel.
That's exactly what I think sometimes.
How big are these islands?
Well, they are often different plastic island in the ocean, but the largest one called the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It is estimated to be around 1.6 million square kilometers.
Wow, that's enormous. How did this island of plastic even form in the first place?
It's actually the result of ocean currents and human behavior. The plastic that ends up in the ocean is carried by current and then accumulates in certain areas.
That's very concerning. How does this plastic affect the marine life?
The plastic can be very harmful to marine life, as it can be mistaken for food and ingested. This can cause a serious health problem and even death for many species.
And it is not just in marine life that affected. The plastic can also break down in the smaller piece, called the microplastic, and which can enter in the food chain and have negative impacts on human aid as well.
So, what can we do to prevent this plastic from entering the ocean in the first place?
We can start by reducing our use of single-use plastic, like straws and water bottles, and we should properly dispose of the plastic we do use, so they don't end up in the ocean.
It's also important to support policies that reduce plastic waste and promote recycling, and we can all do our part by participating in beach cleanups and spreading awareness about this issue.
Thank you for those suggestions. And what about cleaning up the plastic that's already in the ocean? Is that even possible?
It is definitely our challenge, but these are some organization work on solution. One idea is to use a gigant floating needs to collect the plastic and then recycle it.
That's an interesting approach. But what about the cost of all of that?
It would definitely be expensive, but what we have to wait? The cost of doing nothing and letting the plastic continue to harm our planet and our Earth. And we should also consider the economic benefits of recycling and reducing plastic waste in the long run.
We've been talking about this plastic since the start of the conversation. But what is this plastic that everybody talks about?
Well, that's a little bit complicated. Plastic is a synthetic material that's made from petroleum, which is a fossil fuel. It's used to make a wide variety of products, including bags, bottles, and containers.
And what are other kinds of plastic?
Sure, there are many different types of plastic. Some of the most common ones are the PET, used to make bottles, HDPE, used for milk jugs and shampoo bottles, PVC is used to make pipes and toys. To make things such as bags and packaging, the LDPE is used.
How many kinds of plastic exist?
I can answer your question in the different way. The first is there are 7 types of plastic. The second is there are answer of different types of plastic. Let me explain. The 7 types of plastic list containing 6 types of plastic. They are recycling, and 7th types of the group non recycling plastic, and there are a lot of them.
Interesting. And how do you you know how plastic is made?
Yes, plastic is made through a process called polymerization. It involves combining small molecules called monomers into long chains called polymers. This process can be done using a variety of techniques, including injection, molding, and extraction.
That's very informative. And do you know how long plastic takes to decompose?
Yes, plastic can take hundreds or even thousands of years to decompose. This is why it's so important to reduce our use of plastic and recycle as much as possible.
Wow, that's a really long time. Can I ask you if there are any countries that introduce more plastic in the sea than the others?
Yes, they started an introduction of most plastic in the ocean and China, Indonesia and Philippines, Vietnam and Sri Lanka.
But why do these countries produce so much plastic waste?
Because these countries are still developing and they don't have the same waste management infrastructure as more developed countries. As a result, a lot of plastic waste ends up in the ocean.
That's a good point. Can we somehow help those states?
Yes, I think one thing we can do is provide support and resources to these countries to help them improve their waste management infrastructures. We can also work to reduce our own plastic use and support companies that use eco-friendly materials and practices.
Well, we have covered a lot of ground today, discussing everything from the types of plastic and how they're made, to the impact of plastic pollution on our ocean, and the countries responsible for introducing the most plastic waste into them. It's clear that this is a pressing issue that requires action from all of us. We need to be more mindful of our plastic use, support eco-friendly alternatives, and work to improve waste management practice both at home abroad.
Absolutely. Thank you to our panel and experts for sharing the insights and ideas. It's up to all of us to work together to address this issue and ensure healthier, more sustainable future for our planet. Have a great day, guys.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
This was an amazing experience. Have a good day, guys.
This is the Green Side Show,
Where we discuss everything about the environment.
with news, interviews, data, and opinions. Follow us live on Monday at 12 a.m.
On the Lookup Radio YouTube channel.
The green side for our future.